Ah, so they finally told you, didn't they? Whispered it behind closed doors, murmured it in prayer, maybe wrote it in trembling ink across the pages of fate. You are a leader of the end. Sounds poetic, doesn't it? Like something out of a prophecy. Only this prophecy doesn't come dressed in gold or crowned with roses. No, no, no. This one's carved in chaos, stitched together by silence, and handed to the last one standing when the smoke clears and everyone else is too afraid to open their eyes. All right, let's peel back the mask, shall we? Oh, that's when the curtains begin to fall, when the audience starts shifting in their seats, fidgeting with their popcorn because something feels off. That's when it starts. The truth. Oh, it's not pretty. It's not clean or polite or wrapped in a motivational quote slapped across an Instagram post. No, the truth's messy. Smells like smoke and fear and the sweat of people who suddenly realized they weren't who they pretended to be. That's when you step in. That's when it reveals you. The end isn't a horror story unless you were living a lie to begin with. It's a magnifying glass held over your soul, and under pressure, things get interesting. Ever seen someone try to hold on to a fake smile while the floor drops out from under them? Priceless. Now imagine, you're not the one falling, you're the one watching. You're the one holding the lever. That's what it means to be you. To be the one the chaos bows to. The one who walks through the rubble with a grin, not because you're mad, but because you knew it would come to this. They didn't. They thought the lights would stay on forever. The stage perfectly lit. Everyone applauding. Polished. They didn't. They thought the lights would stay on forever. The stage burns. But no, the lights flicker, the shadows grow teeth. And suddenly, leadership ain't about speeches, it's about presence. It's about walking through the fire without asking for applause. You ever notice how quiet it gets when it all starts to fall apart? Not outside, inside. Inside people's heads. The voices that once cheered them on, fed their ego, promised them things, they go silent. That's when most people break. But not you. No, your silence is louder than their noise. Because you don't need the world to clap when you move. You move because that's what leaders of the end do. Funny thing about the end, it's not fair. It doesn't care if you were good or bad, rich or poor, pretty or forgotten. It just is. It knocks. Not gently, and it doesn't wait for permission. And while the others scramble, looking for exits, explanations, someone to blame, they're used to this. You haven't. And walking away, and walking away, and walking away, and your face still focused, unshaken. Not because you're heartless, no. Because you were never asleep. You've been watching the cracks form, haven't you? Not just in the world, but in people, in their stories, in their eyes when they talk about things they no longer believe. They don't see it yet, but it's already begun. The unraveling. The moment where everything they clung to starts slipping. But not you. You let go a long time ago. You understood the difference between control and chaos. And guess what? Chaos listens to you now. Because leadership at the end isn't about controlling people. It's about controlling yourself. When everything screams panic, you whisper clarity. When they kneel to fear, you stand for purpose. When they forget who they are, you become who they couldn't. That's the trade, isn't it? The world falls apart so the mask can fall off, and what's underneath isn't weakness. It's the real version of you, the raw one, the version that doesn't ask to lead but becomes impossible to ignore. So look around. The signs are everywhere. People pretending they haven't noticed. Whistling in the dark, hoping the monsters will skip their house. But you've stopped hoping. You've started preparing. No cape, no applause, just steps one after another, right into the storm. Not because you're fearless, but because you're needed. And you know something they don't. The end doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to crown you. But only if you're still standing when the dust settles. Only if you don't blink when the shadows speak your name. Only if you know that being chosen doesn't feel like a reward. It feels like responsibility. And sometimes it feels like pain. And sometimes it feels like silence. Not emptiness, just space, waiting, watching, asking one question over and over again. Will you move now or will we out? And while they wait for signs, for comfort, for things to make sense again, there you are walking forward anyway. No script, no safety net. Just a grin and a gut full of fire. Because you're not afraid of the end. You've already accepted it. You've already understood it. You are it. And that's why it reveals you. Because it belongs to you. Because you don't run when the curtains catch fire. You light the match. Oh, the beautiful irony of control. Everyone wants it, but no one really holds on tight. They think they do with their little plans and carefully rehearsed moves. But when the end shows up at the door, control slips through their fingers like smoke. It's almost laughable watching them try to grab at it, desperate, frantic. But not you. You see the game for what it is. Control isn't about gripping tighter, it's about knowing when to let go. When the world around you starts to crumble, you don't panic, you don't clutch the illusion of order. You dance with chaos instead. Because control, real control, is a quiet power that thrives in the eye of the storm. The kind of power that whispers, I got this, even when everything is screaming run. Look at those around you. They scramble to patch holes in a sinking ship, trying to steer a course that doesn't exist anymore. But you're already swimming underwater, calm, eyes wide open, charting a new path through the depths. Control is not about holding the ship steady, it's about knowing when to abandon the ship and build a ship and build a new one from the wreckage. There's a delicious freedom in surrendering the need to control the uncontrollable. It's the kind of freedom that scares the hell out of most people. Because control feels safe. It's predictable. But that safety is a cage. And when the walls come down, you're either crushed or set free. You, my friend, you're the one who laughs when the cage breaks. Think about it. How many times have you seen people cling to the past, to the familiar, just to avoid the discomfort of chaos? They hold on to toxic relationships, dead-end jobs, broken dreams, all because it's safer than facing the unknown. But the truth, the unknown is where the real game begins. That's where control lies, not in holding tight, but in mastering the art of flow. Control at the end means bending with the winds of change without snapping. It means making moves that seem reckless to the fearful but are calculated in the mind of the wise. It's about knowing that sometimes the best way to win is to lose what you thought you needed. To let go of the reins and trust the madness to guide you to something better. And let me tell you, it's not about being a puppet master pulling strings and pretending you're the boss. No. That's a cheap trick for cheap players. True control is subtle. It's the quiet confidence that makes others wonder what you're thinking. It's the smile that hides 1,000 plans beneath it. It's the calm in your voice when everyone else is shouting in panic. You've learned to see the cracks in the system long before they become chasms. You've watched the world put on a mask of stability, but you know the truth beneath it all. That's why you don't scramble for control, you redefine it. You create your own rules in a game that's already on fire. Control at the end is also about timing. Knowing when to push, when to pull back, when to strike, and when to disappear. It's a dance with fate where you lead and follow in the same breath. The kind of control that's not about possession, but about influence. Because when the end comes, it's not the strongest or smartest survive, it's the one who can move like water. Slipping through cracks, adapting, flowing. There's a madness to it, sure, but it's the good kind of madness. The kind that makes you unpredictable, unstoppable. The kind that turns fear into fuel and chaos into opportunity. You don't control the world. You control your reaction to it. And that, my friend, is the kind of power that no one can take from you. So laugh at the chaos. Dance with the uncertainty, because while others are busy clinging to control, you're already writing the script for the next act. Not as a victim, but as the master of the game. And in that game, control isn't a leash, it's wings. It's freedom. It's the art of surviving the end and thriving in the madness. Ah, the illusion of power, such a delicious joke, isn't it? Everyone's scrambling, clawing, desperate to prove they're in charge of their destiny. But here's the punchline. Real power doesn't shout or strut, it whispers. Hides in shadows, plays the long game. It's not about ruling the world, it's about mastering yourself when everything else falls apart. And you're about to find out what that really means. Power isn't what most people think it is. It's not the loud declarations, the flashing money, the hollow titles. No, it's the quiet storm brewing inside the soul. The kind of power that laughs at chaos because it's already danced with madness and come out smiling. You see, true power thrives in the cracks of broken dreams, in the silence between shattered expectations. It waits for the moment when everyone else freezes, paralyzed by fear, and then it strikes. Think about all those who chase after control, trying to bend the world to their will. They think power is about domination, about making others bow down. But that's just a cheap trick, a desperate ploy from those too afraid to face the real fight, the one inside their own mind. Real power is owning your darkness, your failures, your fears. It's staring into the abyss and not blinking. It's knowing that you are the storm and the calm, the fire and the ashes. And here's the twist: when the end is near, when the walls close in and the clock is ticking, power doesn't come from holding on tighter, it comes from letting go. Letting go of the need to be liked, the need to be safe, the need to pretend. Because power lives in authenticity. It's raw, it's messy, and it's utterly fearless. It's the courage to be yourself when the world demands you wear a mask. Imagine the chaos swirling around you, the noise of doubt, betrayal, loss. Most people crumble under that weight, but you smile because you know something they don't. Power isn't about avoiding pain, it's about using it, harnessing it, turning every scar, every wound into fuel for your rise. That's the mark of a true leader, the one who sees opportunity in destruction, who finds strength in vulnerability. You're not just surviving, you're rewriting the rules. While others are busy playing checkers, you're mastering chess. You think 3 moves ahead because power isn't reaction, it's anticipation. It's the patience to wait for the perfect moment, the wisdom to know when to strike and when to retreat. It's a game of shadows where the invisible hand guides the fate of kings. But beware, the path to power is lonely. It demands sacrifice, a willingness to walk through fire while others cower. It's about embracing the madness within, letting it fuel your transformation instead of consuming you. You must be both the chaos and the order, the joker and the king. Balance is the trick. Too much control, and you suffocate. Too much chaos, and you burn out. Power also means knowing who to trust and when to turn your back. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. The chosen few are those who see the storm in your eyes and don't flinch. They're rare, like diamonds forged under pressure. Surround yourself with those who challenge you, who push you to be more, not those who drain your light. And here's the delicious irony: true power attracts enemies, whispers behind your back, the kind of envy that can cut deeper than any blade. But you don't care about their noise, because real power isn't fragile. It's a roaring inferno that can't be extinguished by petty minds. You don't waste energy fighting shadows, you become the darkness that makes them tremble. Remember, power is a mask everyone wears at some point, but only a few know how to make it their face. It's not about pretending, it's about becoming the force that can bend reality without breaking. The kind of power that doesn't ask for permission because it takes what it needs. The power that laughs in the face of fate because it knows the joke is on everyone else. So when the world feels like it's closing in and the weight of endings presses down, remember, power isn't about control or domination. It's about mastery of self, mastery of fear, mastery of the chaos that surrounds you. It's about standing in the eye of the storm and knowing that you are the calm, that you are the call that turns destruction into creation. Ah, betrayal, such a deliciously cruel twist in the story, isn't it? Like a knife wrapped in a smile, waiting patiently to stab you right where you least expect. People you called allies, friends, even family, they suddenly turn their backs and walk away. They disappear into the shadows, leaving you to wonder if you were ever really seen at all. But that's the game. The grand cosmic joke. Trust is a fragile thing, and some enjoy watching it shatter like glass. You think you know people, you put your faith in their words, their promises, their laughter shared late into the night. But when the moment arrives, when the stakes are high and the truth hangs in the balance, that mask slips. Suddenly the friends become strangers, the partners become enemies. They vanish like smoke, leaving you grasping at emptiness. It's painful, oh yes, but what if I told you this betrayal is the beginning of your awakening, the start of your transformation from puppet to puppeteer? See, betrayal is the universe's way of clearing the stage, a wicked sort of pruning. It strips away the deadwood, the fake smiles, the hollow alliances that only weigh you down. The ones who leave weren't meant to stay, not in the grand design. And while it hurts like hell in the moment, this painful cutting away opens space for something new, raw, real, and unapologetically yours. It forces you to look closer, not just at others, but at yourself. What were you blind to? What illusions did you cling to? And here's the irony: those who disappear aren't always villains. Sometimes they're just playing their part in your story, unwitting actors in the chaos. Their departure, though bitter, becomes a dark gift. You see who's left standing when the dust settles. The ones who don't run, who don't falter. The ones who see through the smoke and mirrors, who understand that loyalty isn't given lightly. These are your real allies, the few who survive the storm alongside you. But betrayal also demands something else from you: the courage to forgive, not for their sake, but for yours. To release the poison that clutches at your heart and threatens to consume your soul. Forgiveness is a joke, really a twisted kind of freedom. It doesn't mean forgetting or pretending the wound ever happened. No, it means choosing not to be the prisoner of your own bitterness, because clinging to pain only gives power to those who left. Letting go flips the script. Now you're the one holding the cards. And while you're at it, betrayal teaches a beautiful, terrifying lesson that you are enough. You don't need the approval of the absent, the validation of the gone. You are complete in your chaos, whole in your scars. Those who leave reveal your strength by testing your resolve. They expose the cracks, but also the steel beneath. It's a test you didn't ask for, but one you're built to pass. There's a perverse joy in watching those who walked away realize what they lost. Not out of spite, but because now you're moving forward without their weight. You've shed the anchors disguised as relationships, free to rise, to burn brighter, to take up space unapologetically. Their absence becomes your power, the fuel for your rebellion against a world that expected you to break. And don't fool yourself, the ones who leave. They fear what they can't control. They run because they see you growing into something fierce, something unstoppable. Their departure is less about your failure and more about their cowardice. They couldn't handle the storm you're becoming. But here's the punchline: storms aren't tamed. They're embraced. They're wielded. So betrayal is no accident. It's a designed chaos, a twisted blessing in disguise. It tears down the fake so the real can emerge. It strips away the comfortable lies and forces you into brutal honesty. And in that brutal honesty, there's a kind of freedom that's intoxicating. It's the freedom to be ruthless with yourself, to cut away what no longer serves, to rebuild on your own terms. Now picture the moment when you stop chasing those who left, when you stop begging for answers or closure, when you finally laugh, not the bitter laugh of a victim, but the wild, knowing laugh of someone who's seen the game, played it, and is ready to rewrite the rules. Because betrayal doesn't have to be your downfall. It can be the spark that ignites your rise. The punchline no one saw coming. The chaos that births a king. Ah, loyalty, the fragile thread we all think binds us, the invisible glue holding together the chaos of human connection. But what if I told you that loyalty is less about the other person and more about the madness inside you? You see, loyalty is a game, a twisted dance where you think you're holding hands. But sometimes you're just being led into the abyss. It's not just about standing by someone, it's about choosing who deserves to be in your circus and who's just a clown passing through. Imagine this: you've given your trust, your time, your very soul to someone, believing in their presence like a child believes in fairy tales. But here's the cruel joke: people aren't always who they pretend to be. They wear masks, smile with teeth sharper than knives, and whisper sweet nothings while planning their escape. And yet you stay loyal. You hold on, hoping that your devotion is enough to keep them from slipping away. But loyalty isn't a leash, it's a mirror. And sometimes that mirror reveals not their truth, but your own delusion. Loyalty means sacrifice, yes, but at what cost? How many times have you bent backwards, broken your own rules just to keep the illusion alive? You think you're the rock, the unwavering fortress, but maybe you're just the sandcastle the tide eventually washes away. And every time someone steps out of your life, the question echoes louder: was your loyalty worth their presence? Or was it just feeding a monster that devours your sanity? But here's the delicious irony: loyalty is also power. When wielded right, it's the blade that cuts through the noise, the spotlight that reveals who truly stands with you when the world turns upside down. Real loyalty